Welcome to my channel, where your adventure into the future starts right now. Step into a vibrant universe filled with groundbreaking technology, breathtaking alien landscapes, and exhilarating sci-fi narratives that challenge your imagination. From daring explorations of distant galaxies to haunting journeys through dystopian societies, we uncover the most captivating stories and innovative ideas that will shape the world of tomorrow. Subscribe today and join us on an incredible intergalactic voyage that promises to inspire and thrill. In the vast reaches of the galaxy, across innumerable star systems and planets teeming with life, most species followed a predictable trajectory. They fought, they conquered, they destroyed. From the oldest to the youngest, from the most advanced to the least, survival was the ultimate goal. The tools they wielded varied in sophistication, biological, mechanical, or even technological, but their fundamental aim was the same: to outlast and overpower their enemies, to carve out a niche in a galaxy that had always favored those who could dominate. But then humans arrived. It began as a quiet whisper in the galactic community, a flash in the cosmic dark. The human species, newly emerged from their homeworld of Earth, had spent only a few centuries venturing into space, yet they brought with them something utterly alien to the galaxy's myriad powers: a fundamentally different approach to survival. The other species, ancient, proud, and full of their own histories of war, conquest, and technological prowess, could not have predicted the radical transformation humanity would bring about. The first contact between humans and the alien species was met with skepticism. Humans were an oddity, a species that had barely learned to harness the raw power of their natural world, much less the intricacies of space travel. Their ships were primitive compared to the sleek, battle-hardened vessels of the older civilizations. Their military might was practically non-existent when compared to the vast fleets of the galaxy's most powerful races. But the first human explorers, naive and unassuming, had something that the others did not: an innate belief in cooperation and an ability to understand the deepest needs of others. It was during one of their early exploratory missions that the humans made a profound discovery. A planet, far from the centers of galactic power, was home to a species known as the Kora, a tribal, primitive race that had developed only rudimentary tools. Their society was based on instinct and a deep connection with their environment, but they lacked the knowledge to cultivate their resources effectively or to defend themselves against predators. The Kora's survival was tenuous at best, their population held back by their inability to advance past a rudimentary level of technology. Humans, with their peculiar blend of empathy and practicality, saw in the Kora an opportunity not for conquest, not for dominion, but for a partnership. The humans, rather than imposing their will or trying to control the Kora, sought instead to teach them. It wasn't a matter of gifting them with advanced weaponry or technology, it was a far simpler, more profound act. They taught them how to use tools. Not just weapons or defense tools, but tools for agriculture, for building, for gathering resources, and for protection. The Kora, initially skeptical and fearful of the strange new creatures that had landed on their world, soon saw the practical benefits. A stone could become a more effective weapon when shaped into a spear. A stick could be turned into a lever for lifting heavy objects. A rock could be sharpened into an edge for cutting and carving. These were simple concepts, but to a species that had never considered such possibilities, they were revelations. In time, the Kora began to grow. Their populations flourished, their agriculture expanded, and their communities became more complex. As they advanced, they began to form new structures of governance and leadership, moving from their primitive tribal systems to a more organized society. The human ambassadors, always patient and encouraging, helped guide them along the way, offering advice but never dominating. The Kora were not made into mere followers, they were partners in their own growth. The success of this humble exchange was a turning point. As more human missions spread across the galaxy, they encountered species who were similarly hindered by their lack of knowledge. Some were more advanced than the Kora, but they were all held back in some way by their inability to properly harness the resources at their disposal or to cooperate in meaningful ways with other species. Some were plagued by war and destruction, unable to see beyond their own survival. Others were isolated, without the means to communicate with the larger galactic community. It was with these species that humanity's approach became even more revolutionary. They began to offer more than just the basics of tool use. They offered lessons in cooperation, in mutual survival, and collaboration over domination. Humans did not demand that these species abandon their culture or their ways of life, but they encouraged the sharing of knowledge, the exchange of ideas. Humanity's gift was not just tools, but the understanding of how tools could be used to create a better future, not just for individuals, but for entire societies. One of the next species to benefit from humanity's unique approach was the Nari, a race of amphibious beings who lived on a water-drenched planet, their civilization built upon the seas. The Nari had developed advanced underwater technology, using the resources of their oceans with remarkable efficiency. However, they lacked the ability to utilize resources outside of their aquatic environments. Their land-based technologies were rudimentary, and their ability to venture beyond the oceans was limited. They had the potential to become a more interconnected species, but they simply lacked the tools to do so. Humanity's solution was simple: teach them to build. With the Nari, the humans didn't focus on warfare or technological superiority. They focused on creating simple, effective tools that could allow the Nari to survive and thrive in the terrestrial parts of their planet. They shared knowledge of agriculture, land-based construction, and land navigation, using a basic principle that humans had learned long ago, that tools, properly applied, could change everything. Soon, the Nari were using simple tools to help them harvest resources from the land. Their engineers learned to build land vehicles, and with those, they began to explore the shores of their planet and trade with other civilizations. Human-made tools gave them the means to expand their horizons, opening up possibilities that had once seemed impossible. Once again, the gift was not just the tool itself, but the lesson behind it, the power of collaboration and resourcefulness. As humanity's influence spread, so did their methods. They began teaching other species the basics of survival, the building blocks of any advanced civilization. The Fethrians, a race of insectoid beings whose hive society had been structured around a rigid caste system, were the next to learn. The Fethrians had mastered biological manipulation, creating efficient and complex colonies, but their reliance on instinct and biological determinism limited their ability to advance technologically. Humanity's offer to teach them the use of tools was met with both confusion and skepticism. The Fethrians were proud of their biology, their organic mastery, and at first, they rejected the idea that they could learn anything from a species so primitive. But humans persisted, offering the Fethrians the simplest of tools: a knife, a chisel, a simple lever. At first, the Fethrians saw no need for such things. But as they observed how the humans used tools to build, to create, and to protect, they began to see the wisdom in it. Soon, the Fethrians, driven by their natural intelligence and ability to adapt, began to incorporate tools into their own biological processes. They learned how to refine their structures, how to combine their biological abilities with the practical use of external tools, and how to collaborate with humans in creating a more advanced and sustainable society. This partnership did not erase their hive-based instincts, rather, it enhanced their ability to thrive and work together across species lines. As more and more species adopted this approach, learning how to use tools to better their lives and improve their survival, it became clear that something larger was occurring. Humanity, with its strange yet compelling philosophy of shared survival, had begun to redefine the very fabric of galactic trade. Once, the exchange between species had been dominated by power, weapons, technology, resources for dominion, and the constant jockeying for political and military supremacy. Trade had been a matter of competition, of conquest. But humanity's gift, their ability to teach others how to use tools for survival, was shifting the paradigm. No longer was trade about seeking dominance. It was about mutual growth, shared knowledge, and collaboration. As each species learned how to thrive using tools that had once been beyond their reach, they began to see the potential in trading not just resources, but knowledge and expertise. Species began to share their own innovations, their own discoveries, with one another. Instead of fighting for the most advanced weapons or the greatest resources, they began to exchange methods of survival, agricultural techniques, engineering solutions, new approaches to environmental stewardship, and ways to build better societies. This cultural shift reverberated across the galaxy. Where there had once been suspicion and conflict, there was now cooperation. The complex web of galactic trade that had been based on resource hoarding and military might now became a web of knowledge exchange. Species who had once viewed one another with fear now looked at each other with a sense of possibility. They were no longer enemies vying for control, they were partners, united in the shared goal of survival and improvement. For humanity, the impact of this transformation was far-reaching. As they shared their knowledge and advanced other species, they themselves grew stronger. They were no longer the weakest in the galaxy, but were recognized as a force of influence, a species that could both survive and elevate others. Their ability to teach tools, to help others build, meant that humanity had a unique position in galactic society. They were not conquerors, but creators, architects of cooperation. The legacy of this quiet revolution spread like ripples through the galaxy, and the ripple effect of humanity's influence began to touch every corner of the universe. The Korra, once primitive and struggling, became a thriving world power. The Nari, with their land-based technology, soon became leaders in sustainable planetary development. The Fethrians, using their biological genius in tandem with human ingenuity, revolutionized bioengineering, transforming their society into one of the most innovative in the galaxy. The tools humanity had given them were far more than simple instruments of survival, they were keys to a new way of life. And so, the galaxy changed. What had once been a place of endless war, of endless striving for dominance, was now a place where survival was shared, where knowledge was the true currency, and where the future was something that all species could build together. Humanity, the seemingly insignificant species from a forgotten corner of the galaxy, had not only taught others how to survive, they had taught them how to thrive, how to live, and how to help one another in a universe that had once been defined by scarcity and competition. The impact of their simple lessons in tools, in cooperation, and in survival was felt throughout the stars, a testament to the power of humanity's greatest gift, their belief that no one should be left behind.